Welcome back to Big Country Politics on KTAB.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Sunday Conversation here on Big Country Politics. I'm Manny Diaz. This week our special guest is Riley Rodriquez, Democratic candidate for Texas State Senate District 28. Riley, it's a pleasure being able to share this time with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate you letting me in here
Yeah.
for a little talk.
Absolutely, man. Well, we got a lot to talk about, indeed. Let's start off with, who is Riley Rodriquez?
Well, I was born in Abilene. In Abilene. I was going to say Anson, but born in Abilene. My dad worked on a ranch right outside of Abilene, about 20 miles between here and Albany. My mom was a probation officer, and I pretty much just grew up working class and have spent my entire life pretty much here in District 28. I graduated from Knox City High School, went to school in Seymour and Albany, several different high schools, did a lot of traveling, and have spent my time in all of the small towns and communities, in the rural communities that make up District 28. And I've gotten the pleasure of, throughout my life, working here, worked in the oil field, tried my hand at cowboying, but, whatever. And now I run a small business here in Abilene. I'm a strength coach.
Wow.
And I'm also run a small pool business as well. And I'm going back to school, finishing up my degree for, I always forget this, behavioral sciences, I believe is the way you say it. But it's like social work and stuff like that at Texas Tech. So that's what I've pretty much been up to my last 33 years is trying to be a grown-up.
That's right. Yeah, and I think we're always trying to get to that point. I still feel like I'm still trying to get to that point. So I'm with you on that, my man. Tell me, what would you say has influenced your decision to run for this Senate seat that Charles Perry has held for so long?
I could say that there's several layers to it, but to speak in a more, I guess, modern reasons, like current times, is there has just felt like a complete lack of attention to issues that are actually going on, kitchen table issues for people, and the response is typically, it's going to be fine, just trust us. But prices keep going up, wages stay the same, and now you're wanting us to also swallow that there's a massive corporation moving in to our state that needs our resources, needs our energy, and there's no type of regulation, there's no brakes on this train that it seems like we're headed down a pretty bad path.
Are you referring to data centers, or what are you referring to?
Many things. Data centers, like I said, are one of the most current issues. But we have a whole lot of other issues that it seems like, I could go to also the hemp industry in Texas, right? That's a lot of small business owners. That's an opportunity for regular folks to run a business that they might enjoy running. And it's also $8 to $10 billion to our state's economy, and it's just getting ripped apart because Dan Patrick says so.
You are a Democrat candidate, how do you plan to represent the Democrat Party's values while still appealing to and serving a large conservative constituency?
Well, my plan would be essentially Democratic values, or at least the ones that align with, I would say, the state Democrats, are focused on all the things that everybody else agrees with. Having your autonomy as a Texan, being able to live your life free of the burden of having to worry about whether the decisions that are being made in the Capitol are being made on your behalf or whoever's paid the most money for it. And as far as Democratic values go, I've spoken to several conservatives who the values are not necessarily party aligned when it comes to state like this. Mm-hmm. I'm running as a Democrat because I don't believe that the Republican Party has anybody's best interest at heart anymore except for the highest bidder. And I feel like it's pretty easy to represent the democratic values, in that I'm standing for workers, I'm standing for women, I'm standing for people's civil rights, and I'm standing for conservation of our natural resources in our state that we all love. And those are the democratic values that I think everybody can get on board with. Um, I've gone to Stanford and volunteered at the food bank, and you know what? My questions, I didn't get questions about the DNC. I didn't get questions about whatever cultural politics are going on right now. The questions were, hey, our volunteer fire department needs resources. What are you going to do? I don't care what the initial is behind your name, because the vote should be for the man, not the party.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite frank, it's going to be pretty easy to stand up for workers because nobody else is. It's going to be pretty easy to stand up for people's rights right now because we have a trifecta government that cares not at all for the 39% of Hispanics that don't feel safe in our district alone, you know.
What makes you think that they don't feel safe, or is this something you're hearing?
Yes. I've spoken to some people. I'm not going to, know, publicly, but I've spoken to some people who have not only experienced issues themselves and their family, but I mean, to also know that they are talking to other people who are going through immigration issues that can't even speak to their families, don't know where their families are. And no matter what you might think about the immigration issues, and we can sure talk about it, if you're being detained, your family should at least know where you are. You should be able to contact your family.
All right, we're going to step aside for a quick commercial break, but when we come back, more with Riley Rodriquez about rural health care and data centers in the district. Stick around.
Welcome back to Big Country Politics on KTAB.
All right, Riley, in segment one, we talked about who you are, how you've arrived to this point. Let's kind of peel back the onion a bit. Data centers, AI projects are expanding across Texas, especially here in Abilene in the Big Country. What concerns are you hearing from residents about these developments?
Well, lately the biggest concerns have been resources and energy and how it's going to affect that. I work with some farmers and ranchers. I talk to them. Their biggest concern is water in our rural areas. Biggest concern is water. Some of the more, like some other people, just normal Abilenians, are also concerned about their energy bill. All of these are valid concerns, especially since reports are coming out from it would be West. Where is Washington? What state is Washington D.C.?
Washington D.C.
It's its own state, right?
Yes.
But it's like up around Virginia, right? That is
Mm-hmm.
the area where they have the heaviest amount of data centers.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting reports there. There's been some reports out of Dallas where people are now they've had some data centers there for about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're seeing that on their energy bill. So the biggest concerns are electricity. Everybody was here for Snowmageddon.
Mm-hmm.
We lost all that power. Well, now we're going to have, gigawatt, which is a lot for, I had to learn about gigawatts,
Sure.
and I learned that they are quite big. It's a lot of energy to push that.
Aren't they saying that they're going to be fueled by natural gas?
Their generators, I believe, will be fueled by natural gas, but they're still pulling off of the power supply, especially to run everything out here. But they'll also be building bigger power plants as an aside in case there is in case they need to switch over to power over there. So they'll be running a kind of a hybrid thing, but they will be pulling energy they will be pulling power essentially.
So people are concerned about this particular thing.
Oh, for sure.
In that capacity.
For sure. I was in Wichita with the Young Democrats, and they had a young high school student there that asked, his question to me was, what would you do to protect labor for people my age? Like 16, he's about to turn 16.
Yeah.
And I thought it was an excellent question because it gets to a bubbling issue that I think that not enough mainstream people are talking about, which is, I brought up the Taco Bell automation. Well, for a 16-year-old, for a high school kid, those are really great entry-level jobs to learn how to work, to learn how to keep a schedule, make your own money, all of that stuff, right? We can all agree that working at 16 was probably pretty good for most of us, right? Well, it's not a requirement for them to hire those kids. They don't need those employees. And as a matter of fact, it would probably be cheaper for them if they didn't hire them. And so these are real concerns.
When it comes to healthcare consolidation, there are a few arguments to that. One, financial stability for struggling hospitals, improved operational facilities, more patient access. The other side, perhaps there might not be salaries might not be as competitive for the healthcare workers. The only game in town, not another option. If elected, how would you ensure any future consolidation aligns with the needs of patients rather than just the goals of large healthcare systems, or is there ability to balance both?
I would say, first of all, as a representative, I do want to be clear, because I don't want to be one of these people who just says I can do all of these things and then it never happens.
Sure.
So to answer your first question, putting me in office gets a vote against any type of consolidation like that. That's the number one thing. It's a vote against a bill that would say, hey, let's monopolize further, right? So that is, at the moment, until you have a better opposition against it, that is what you have, is somebody quite literally just fighting against it. But secondly, on the policy front, I think that there is a way to balance some of this, and I think that there is a way to say, you know what? That's a bit too much. That's enough, fellas. One of the very simple policy ideas that I have is rural healthcare hospitals. They pay, I believe the abbreviation is EHR, but I could be, what it is a database for doctors and their patients. They pay about a $32,000 right in there fee to start it up, and then they pay $1,500 a month per doctor. As a state, that is something that we could easily subsidize on a rural level, because that is a massive expenditure to these people. And if we're gonna help them, in a lot of ways, the bus is kind of hard to turn around right now. So if what we want to do is maintain these rural healthcare districts, that's a really easy way to make a small cutout for rural people.
In roughly about 30, 45 seconds here, tell me, why should voters take a chance on Riley Rodriquez, Democratic candidate for District 28's Texas State Senate?
Well, first off, I'm a hometown kid, so you're voting for somebody from your own town, which is pretty dope anyways. But I understand what it feels like to get days off and wonder if those days off are going to turn in to a job hunt. I understand what it's like to watch your small town wither away and wonder if it's really got to be like that. I understand what it feels like to be almost desperate to cling to that dream that we've all been told that if we worked hard and we put our mind to it, we could have it. And now it just continues to get further and further away from us. And the people that we have put in power have failed us in making sure that we, as a future generation, can maintain the same dreams and the same goals that everybody has. And so if you want a representative that is actually in touch with you, I had to take off of work just to be here. I know what it's like to work, because that's what I'm doing today. If you want somebody up there that is going to argue for you and not just tell you it's going to be fine, don't worry about it, I got it, then you should vote for me.
Well, Riley, I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you for being with us today.
Manny, thank you, and I hope to do it again soon.
Yes, sir. Well, for Riley Rodriquez, Democratic candidate for District 28, Texas State Senate, I'm Manny Diaz. This has been another Sunday Conversation right here on Big Country Politics. We'll see you next time. God bless.